Welcome to Barnes the Player HD. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Reds Report podcast with me, Chris Mason, and Carlo van der Watering. We've got a jam-packed show, one we are sure you'll enjoy, and it will show we mean business. We'll be talking international breaks in Carlo's big topic, and as we're at the start of a new month, we'll bring you the results of October's Player of the Month. Top threes this week will see us run through our favourite Neil Redfearn goals. That's 3 from me, 3 from Carlo, so 6 great goals to look back on. And also we'll be looking forward to tomorrow's Perkins, Davis, Eden, Sheridan, Dizou, Redfearn derby with Wigan Athletic. And if that wasn't enough for you, we've got a lot more coming up. Joining us on the show this week will be Reds boss Paul Heckingbottom, Ashley Ward and our good friend Conor Hourihane. Now I've got all that out of the way, I'd like to say good afternoon and welcome to Basel Player HD to my partner in crime, the very husky-voiced Carlo van der Watering. Good afternoon, Carlo, and welcome to the Red Report.
How are we doing, Chris? Yeah, it's more Barry White than Carlo van der Watering, but it's good. I like these offices, by the way. I like this setup. You?
It's fantastic, isn't it? Nice lighting, good setup, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And coming up on the line, we're going to be speaking to Paul Heckingbottom, aren't we, Carlo?
Yes, we are. Be good. I mean, the international break, we seem to get more and more, don't we? We seem to, in this division, fair enough. But I want to know from Paul what that means, because we've got more players going on international duty. And finally, football at Oakwell tomorrow. I absolutely can't wait. Any Saturday without football is an excuse for my wife to get a list out with things I need to do. So I can't wait for 3 o'clock kick-off tomorrow. What about you?
Oh, definitely. We'll be getting into the international breaks and our feelings on them, and I don't think it'll be a very good review when we talk about that in your big topic this week, mate, will we?
No, it won't be. So I think it's time. Shall we set the ball rolling and let's give the gaffer a call?
Certainly will. Coming up after the break, we'll be speaking to Paul Heckingbottom.
And don't forget, first match again tomorrow at home versus Wigan. If you want to get your tickets from the box office or from barnsleyfc.co.uk, adults £23, seniors, young adults 16, and juveniles £10, and juveniles under 12 just £5. Don't forget, on the day the price increases, so if you want to be part of the action, make sure you'll get your tickets ASAP for the big kick-off tomorrow at 3 o'clock versus Wigan Athletic.
Coming up is Paul Heckingbottom.
I'm Paul Heckingbottom, and you're listening to the Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD.
Welcome back to the Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD, and joining us on the line now is Reds gaffer Paul Heckingbottom. Paul, good afternoon.
Hi fellas, you okay?
Yeah, brilliant, Paul. Thanks for giving us your time this afternoon. Cheers for that.
No worries.
First question, Paul. First of all, finally football again tomorrow at Oakwell, 3 o'clock kick-off against Wigan. After the international break, what's the squad looking like?
Yeah, we've got obviously everyone back from the international break, so Yids and Adam Armstrong are back. Had a lot of long journeys and lots of flight time, but they're back and looking good, so that's good for us. No injuries. And then Robbo and Sadie Anko are back in training. So that's 2 more. So yeah, we may have missed us football and we would all rather be playing, but at least we've got a couple more bodies back into a squad now.
I'm going to say a few more bodies back in the trenches, Paul. How pleasing is it? I know it's frustrating that you see players go away on international duty and the break's a bit of a frustration, and we're going to be talking about that later in the show, but how pleasing is it for you to see the likes of Adam Armstrong go and score 3 goals, Andy Idem get recognition and get called up, and Conor make the provisional squad? It must be pleasing as a staff to see that the players' hard work and your hard work's paying off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we had every player away on international duty, then you'd like to think they're all performing well and we're winning games. So it is a reflection on sort of how well the players have done, how far they've progressed. And as a club, we have to be happy with that because we played as part in that. So it is pleasing, but flip that over, it is a worry as well. You know, while they're away, you want everyone to be fit and you want them to come back well, and you want them to be ready and raring to go for the next game, even if they've had the big long journey. So it takes a little bit more managing. But yeah, we're really pleased and proud that they are represented and getting recognition by the countries.
Tomorrow, Oakwell, we've got Wigan. Wigan came up with us. What have you made of their season so far?
Well, it's been made changes. They've not been happy with it. But having said that, they've been in every game. You know, they're only getting beat by the odd goal when they did get beat. So we know it's going to be tough, and whichever way the result goes, it's going to be a difficult game. It's only really the result against Reading, the first time they've been second best by quite a big margin. But Warren's had over 2 weeks now working with the players. They'll be taking on board his ideas, and it gives them that bit more time to start implementing what they want to change. Do you know what I mean? And where to go, because the last 3 games have had 3 different people in charge. So there's definitely been that transition, and you can see it watching the games. There's been slight differences in each of the performances, and I would expect there to be some more differences again when we play on Saturday.
Paul, going into the international break, after a difficult start in October, it ended up being 3 games unbeaten. We look like our old selves again, and obviously, is that what you're seeing now more on the training field as well? The lads are back on it, and you're looking forward to Wigan rather than thinking, oh no, not another game.
Yeah, well, listen, we never ever thought that anyway. There's only really been, from a personal point of view, 2 performances where we've not been happy, and there's been clear things that we know we're not going to be successful if we do that again. So take the result away from the performances on a whole has been good in terms of how we've competed, how we've looked against so-called bigger clubs with bigger budgets and so-called more experienced players at this level. We've more than handled them, and it's been really pleasing. So in terms of that, we've looked forward to every game. It's been real good. You know, me, the staff, the players, I'm sure the fans have as well, home and away. I look forward to these championship clubs coming and playing us. So that's never changed. But it is about the result, like you say, and to be undefeated in the last 3 is important, and it just gives the lads that belief and the confidence again that they know that, you know, we're more than capable at this level to hold us on.
You talked about the last 3 undefeated. How important is it then to have the first game after the international break back at Oakwell, and then less than a week after on a Friday night in front of Sky Sports to play Nottingham Forest? Do you feel the home ground is the advantage? Because there was a little bit of a wobble, but we seem to have got that back again, haven't we? I like playing at Oakwell. I think, you know, the players do. I think the fans enjoy it. We sort of built up a lot of momentum from the end of last season, and it's become a real good atmosphere, and the fans play the part in the occasions at Oakwell now, and it's great. We love it. So we're glad to be back. It does feel like a long time, with the last few games away, and then the international break since we've been at Oakwell. So we're all looking forward to it. And as you say, after this long break, we're at home, and then we've got a Friday night game, which is a little bit different, and it's on telly. So yeah, I think there'll be two real good occasions, real good atmospheres, and hopefully we're coming away and sending everyone away happy with, and we can maintain undefeated or at least pick up, points out of the games.
Excellent, Paul. Thanks for giving us your time this afternoon. Good luck for the Wigan game tomorrow, and good luck with the rest of the season as well. Thanks a lot, Paul. Cheers.
No problem, fellas. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Paul Heckingbottom, and you're listening to the Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD.
So, Chris, international break. I don't know about you, it feels like, obviously, because we're in the Championship, we have a lot more of them and a lot more players involved. How do you think, obviously, we'll talk about it later on. Besides the fact that there's no football, is there a risk with so many players going out on international duty that actually, if you look at Adam Armstrong for the under 20s, Conor, Sam Morsey, Andy Idem for Ghana, is there a chance that some of these could carry an injury and that could have a real impact on our season, couldn't it?
It could do, because obviously the quality of play that you're talking about there, but me personally, I'm not a big fan, Carlo, of the international breaks, and here's why. It seems to me a lot of the time it stops teams in a flow, like ourselves with 3 games unbeaten going into the international break, and it's seen a break come at a wrong time for us, I think, because we'd had a bad run in October. We started to pick up a bit of steam and be like our old selves for me, and that would have been a bit of a disappointment, I think, for Paul and the lads. A few of the lads had to go away, and then obviously come back, and you've got Wigan on Saturday. I know there's a feel good factor after a good run of results, but when you've got players going around the world, like you say, one of them might get injured, and in a nutshell, it's not for me, mate. It's club versus country, and club comes out on top all the time.
And it is because this season we've got so many more. Even if you have a little patch where the results are not going your way, you can't really do any rebuilding because some of the key players we've got are away on duty, isn't it?
Well, there is that, and we know that the lads, a lot of them went away after Wednesday last week, a few days training, and came back on Monday, and then that's when the preparation starts for the Wigan game. But the likes of Yidem, Morsey, if he'd have gone away with Egypt, Conor Hourihane, they're not back on that Monday with the rest of the players. So I do think it does stop a lot of good work that can be done, but I do think that with the setup we've got here, we're ready to go. It's just not for me, the international break, and thank God there isn't one more March now.
There isn't one more March. Are we worrying though about potentially losing Morsey and Yadim to the Africa Cup of Nations, because that tournament is 4 weeks, I believe January, February time. That could have a real impact, because Andy Yadim, we're talking about him later, to have a player like that missing for such an amount of time, that has a real impact, doesn't it?
It has an impact, but it's also a plus point on our recruitment as well, that we've picked these type of players up. It also can be seen that we're doing the right things in the transfer market. The players are being developed by Paul and the team here, and they're getting recognised by their international teams. So while it's poor that we could lose two very key players for a month, it just goes to show the hard work and how far the club's come over the last 12 months, that these players are getting recognised, and I think it's a plus point that. But like I say, it does stop hard work that's been done throughout the season.
That's a really good point as well, isn't it? Because I think for the first time in a long time, I've not heard people sat around me in the Ponty end on match day saying we really need to look for a centre-back, a left-back or whatever, because we seem to have cover in all the places. Whenever we look at the bench, it's a really, really strong bench. If you look at an Adam Hamill who's been sitting on the bench, if you look at the red card we had for Josh Gowan, then the suspension for Conor Hourihane, that problem got solved, and it's almost like we didn't miss him. So the recruitment and the DNA that's been set for the club, that is working, isn't it?
It is, because we're bringing in international players, aren't we? We're bringing in players of quality, and I think that, deep down, Paul knows what he wants. He's got what he wanted, and if he's got to lose a player or two, I think he'll be straight in and he'll solve that. Maybe with the squad that we've got, but maybe by dipping into that market in January, and I wouldn't second guess the judgment of the players that Paul will possibly bring in to replace ones that may jet around the world to represent their country.
Completely. Well, I know Conor has been very, very positive about the training and the match tomorrow. So next we'll hear from the captain to see what he's got to say about the game tomorrow, 3 o'clock at Hogwell versus Wigan Athletic.
And just a quick reminder, we have a special ticket offer for the Nottingham Forest game for you. It's now taking place a week today on Friday the 25th of November, 7:45pm kick-off, which is on Sky Sports. Adults £15, seniors £10, young adults, which is aged 17 to 21's a tenner, juveniles under 17 £10, juveniles under 12's a fiver, and all ticket prices increase by £2 on the day of the game. Order your tickets online where there are no booking fees, or alternatively you can phone the box office on 01226 211 183. Booking fees apply for that as well, so join us for Notts Forest under the floodlights on Sky Sports.
I'm Conor Hourihane and you're listening to Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD.
And we're back on the Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD. Now every week, Carlo, we've come up with a new segment for our new home where we're going to discuss our top threes, whether it's our favourite top three pies at away grounds, our favourite three boozers at away grounds. We're not quite sure, but
it's going to be hard, isn't it? Just three,
but three each makes six, so that's not too bad. And well, obviously every week we'll send a tweet out and we'll ask people what they want us to discuss in the weeks coming up.
Yep.
We'll pick one out every week, and this week we've had to pick a zone, obviously, because it's all been very rushed around. First show, obviously, episode 1, we've picked one, and we've gone this week for top 3 Neil Redfearn goals. Do you want to go first, Carlo, with your first one?
Yeah, it wasn't easy, was it? Because not only is it extremely nostalgic to look back in the YouTube clips and everything else, I've picked 3, but I could have picked 13 if needed be. First one, I've gone for the opening day of what was then the Premiership season, the Hammers at home, and the header from Neil Redfearn, and it was just such a relief. We were really signed off as favourites to go down from the moment we went up, but to score on the opening day, and obviously the captain scoring on the opening day, it just felt like, we've earned our right and we're going to fight to stay here. So for me, that was, that's one of my top 3. What about yours?
I've gone in a similar vein. I've gone into the Carling Premiership. He did so well that season, didn't he, Neil? Topped the charts in the Dream Team FC, everything, etc. But I'm going for Sheffield Wednesday away. That lovely free kick that he bent round the wall in off the post at Hillsborough at their cop end. What a fantastic goal. And it was about that time where we started to show a bit of mettle in games. We came back in that game. We levelled the game up. We didn't deserve to lose that game. There's a lot more steel about the side, and he epitomised everything about that steel from midfield to be able to do what he did, to curl it 25 yards round the wall into that bottom corner, in off the post. Fantastic. And to silence Hillsborough like he did, and on Sky on a Monday night, we showed the world, like we did against West Ham, that Barnsley weren't there to make up the numbers. We were there to give it a real good fight.
Yeah, exactly. My next one, a bit weird probably, because it's the penalty against Liverpool, and I know we lost that match. I still have a few disgruntled thoughts, can't say nightmares, about some of the refereeing decisions that day, but I think the penalty to bring us back level, if nothing else, showed us his calibre as captain of our club, because he was a hero then, he's a hero now, and I think just a goal like that showed what the man that he was and what he was made of. So yeah, my second one, the penalty against Liverpool. We lost 3-2, but that equaliser, for a moment sort of gave us hope, and it was Captain Fantastic at his best.
And we were down to 9 men at the time. And
yeah.
That, like I say, you said there, it just showed everything about the side and about the captain himself. My second one, I've gone again into the Premiership, it seems to be a bit of a theme. Spurs at home, Spurs bottom of the league, Christian Gross, manager, very poor Spurs side. Martin Bullock ran them ragged that day. Ran from the right hand side, put Sol Campbell on his backside, and he squared it to Redfearn, who ran up from midfield again, charged forward, read the play well, it got cut back, and he rifled it straight into the roof of the net past Epsom Bardson to make it 1-0 to Barnsley. And I know that we drew one apiece that day, but again it was a lovely finish from Neil, and it just showed that he'd grown into his role as a Premiership player. And that's one of mine. That's my second one. Neil Redfearn at home to Spurs in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Premiership again, I'm afraid. Short and sweet. First away game, Premiership season. Bellis away, top corner, under the floodlights. To get and again, it was that feeling, wasn't it? Of it's only Barnsley. We went to the capital. We came back, 3 points in the bag. On the coach, up the M1, back to God's country, job done.
I can't argue with that. What a goal that was, absolute belter. And the Premier League have been tweeting that, haven't they, in the week as well? They actually tweeted some answers from the match, and when you look at it, I don't know how we won that game actually. But it was a great first 3 points and a great goal from Neil Redfearn on the old left swinger. My last one, Carlo, for top threes this week of Neil Redfearn goals, I've gone Bolton away the season we got promoted. He scored 2 that day, but the second one, he dribbled into the box, I think, with Clint Marcel, and it fell to Paul Wilkinson, who then fell over with it looked like a bit of a dummy at the time, and the ball dropped to Neil Redfearn, and on the spin he hit it into the top corner. We went 2-1 up at the old Bolton ground, the side that we stayed neck and neck with all season. It looked like we were going to win the game. In the end it wasn't enough. We conceded a late goal to McGinley, but a lovely finish again, nearly 18 yards out into the top corner, just showed what Neil Redfearn was all about.
And that one was a really important one as well, because Bolton and Barnsley, we were very close, top of the table clash kind of thing. I mean, they ended up winning, didn't they, to go up with us.
Yes. The game before Christmas as well, and it just, it was very important to win that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, to show that we were on a level with Bolton, and we weren't just making up the numbers that season.
I'm Coca Power, and you're listening to the Reds Report on Barnsley Play HD.
Joining us on the Reds Report now, we have Reds captain and midfielder Conor Hourihane. Good afternoon, Conor.
Right, guys, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for giving us your time today ahead of the Wigan game tomorrow. Carlo?
Yeah, Conor, another international break over. How eager are you to get back to 3 o'clock on Saturday and have some football at Oakwell?
Yeah, very, very looking forward to it. We've had, like you said, this is our third, I think, international break now, and they've come quick and fast. But now, I think we all know that there's not another international break for a number of months, so it's down to the nitty gritty again. We're all kind of re-energised and recharged from a few days off, so we're really looking forward to getting to Oakwell on Saturday now.
We come off the back of a decent sort of 3-match unbeaten run. The next 2 games, home games, obviously Wigan at home tomorrow 3 o'clock, and then a Friday night against Nottingham Forest. Something different in front of the Sky cameras. Does that add an extra dimension to the match, do you reckon?
It shouldn't do, really. We go out onto Oakwell whenever we play there, and we look to win every football game. We'll be looking to beat Wigan at the weekend, and we'll be looking to beat Notts Forest the following Friday. There's not many games in November, so to pick up as many points as you can is important. I know the Sky cameras will obviously be there next Friday, but we've had big games in the past, obviously on Sky. Especially last year, so it shouldn't change anything for us. We'll have done, a week's preparation going into that game, and it will be the same routine for us. But first and foremost, we got Wigan on Saturday, and we'll be looking to hit the ground running come 3 o'clock.
Definitely, we're definitely looking forward to the game on Saturday. Conor, we spoke to Paul earlier on the show, and we asked him about how good does it feel for him as a coaching staff and you lads that have been recognised by your countries. It must be pleasing that your hard work's paying off, and everybody like Andy Idem and yourself and Adam Armstrong get that recognition. How pleasing is it, Conor?
Yeah, obviously it's very pleasing. When we got promoted last year, that was one of my aims for the season to get into the international kind of squad or recognition. I've managed to do that in some way, shape or form. I've got into 2 professional squads now. It's been a little bit disappointing how it was turned out, obviously, because I haven't made it into the match day squad. But I've taken a couple of steps in the right direction. I spoke to previous players who are in the squad now, and they say they kind of went through a similar way of getting into the squad. They get into the provisional squads and they might get cut from 2 or 3 of them. But eventually, if you keep up playing well, I'll get in there, and they got in there. So, first and foremost, I have to keep playing well for Barnsley, and I'm sure I'll get in there.
Looking ahead at Wigan then, what have you made of them? I mean, a lot of people will always say, if you want to stay in this division, these are the sides you need to beat because they've come up with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that though, does it? Because every team will change, bring players in. What have you made of Wigan so far?
Well, obviously last year I think they steamrolled the league. They by far had the best squad. They probably spent the most money as well. So, they won the league, and deservedly so, I felt. And they've come up. Obviously, they've sacked their manager and the results haven't gone their way. So I suppose they have struggled a little bit. Their new manager has come in now, and he's had 2 weeks over the international break to work with them. So I'm sure they'll be well organised and ready to go to try and take the points off us. But on the flip side of that, we'll have done our homework, and we've had a good week's training. The lads are looking sharp after coming back from our international break. So it should be a good game. But we'll just keep doing what we've been doing. I think we've been on a half-decent run, like you said, and hopefully we'll get the right results come Saturday.
Conor, we're into November now. How have you seen the season and the step up? For obviously yourself and the players as well. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed it. I think it's about a third of the season gone now. I think we're 15, 16 games in, which will be about a third of the season gone. It's flown by. It wasn't so long ago that, we were lining out at Ipswich for the first game of the season. But I felt like, we've equipped ourselves well. A lot of players in our squad, including myself, haven't played at this level. I felt like we've stepped up and done a good job. But there's no room for complacency. We have to, keep working hard on the training pitch. Keep working hard with little bits and pieces that we need to improve on. And I'm sure we'll keep going in the right direction. But for the first third of the season, if someone offered us where we are now, we would have probably taken it. So all in all, we can't really complain with where we are.
No, we're certainly happy as fans. Conor, I want to thank you for your time this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck for Wigan, and good luck for the Nottingham Forest game as well. Cheers.
Cheers, I appreciate that. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
I'm Conor Hourihane and you're listening to Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD. Joining us now on the Reds Report, we've got ex-Reds centre forward Ashley Ward. Ashley, good evening. Thanks for your time tonight.
Good evening, guys. Great to speak to you.
Cheers, Ashley. I'm a bit starstruck myself, to be fair, because it's Ashley Ward. It's proper Ashley Ward. Ashley, before we go into memory lane and your time at Barnsley FC, what's Ashley Ward doing now?
We've got loads of stuff on. We do a bit of developing. We have a design business, which is interior design and architecture, specialising in sort of high-end residential stuff. And we've just opened a non-surgical clinic, and dental, cosmetic dentistry, and all sorts of just sticking our fingers in a lot of pies and hoping that we're successful.
And seeing what cooks, That's it, and seeing what cooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Ashley, 20 goals in 46 games during your time at Barnsley. How do you look back on your time playing for the Reds?
It's just one of the happiest times in my career, to be honest. I loved the club from the minute I went there. My dad's from that neck of the woods, and it just seemed a really good fit when I went there. Danny had the team playing great football, and it just sort of the way I played, it just everything was right for me, really. They knocked it into your feet and gave you the chance to play some good football and create chances, all that. Just like watching Brazil sort of stuff was great to be a part of, really. And we had a good go in the Premiership, and it was a shame, really. Just probably just maybe one or two players short, but really gave it a close run, and it was a shame we didn't stay up, because I think that would have really strengthened the club for years to come. But we gave it a good go, and it was just really good times.
You've just told us sort of like the ventures that you're that you're doing now. Do you still keep an eye on football or results for certain clubs, or is football a part of your life now where there's no interest in whatsoever?
Yeah, you know what? I've got obviously a huge interest in football. It's the sort of love of my life, if you like. But I'm sort of really busy with everything else I do, so I don't see as much of it as I don't follow it as much as I'd like to, really. But I obviously look out for my former clubs, and obviously the ones that I enjoyed the most. Sort of like Barnsley. Where I always look out for them and see how they're doing, and hope they do well.
Ashley, everybody obviously always remembers that goal at Anfield and the illness that was well documented that yourself was suffering from in the lead up to the game. Can you take us through the days leading up to that game at Anfield?
Yeah, it's strange because I had this meningitis, and it's a bit weird actually. We played at Old Trafford, got a good hammer in. I wasn't that well when we went there, and I think probably just run the body down too low and picked up this weird meningitis, and was off for sort of away from the ground completely for about 3 weeks or whatever. Coming sort of Wednesday, Thursday, and the gaffer Danny said, I think I want you to play, sort of thing. And I was like, oh, God, he's got to be mad on it. I can't, sort of getting over this bad illness, and so I went there a bit worried really, and they were on good form at the time and a great side, a difficult place to go, and it ended up a great day really, and nice assist from I can't remember who it was now.
Patrick Berger, weren't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, great assist from Patrick Berger, and great to score, great to win. Yeah, those days don't come round too often for any player. I don't care who you play for. Not often you go to Anfield and score and win the game. So brilliant day out.
I'm sure that one will be sort of like up there. What is your favourite goal that you've scored for the Reds?
Do you know what? It's always difficult. It's like picking your favourite kid, really, isn't it?
I know mine keeps asking, and I refuse to give an answer.
I don't know really. Do you know somebody put scored a header against Tottenham in the cup? Somebody put it on Twitter the other night. Then sort of one of those things you've not forgotten about, but you don't think about. And having watched that was a good, real night. Good night. It's under the floodlights and great atmosphere. And on a good run in the cup. So I thought that was a good day. Yeah, that was a good goal. And up there with them. I can't really choose one, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an absolute favourite.
Well, that was fondly remembered. Great goal that was, Ashley, that night, and you say a great game. We're looking earlier at your career, Ashley. You're the only player to be sent off, miss a penalty and score a penalty in the same game. What was that day like for you up at the Stadium Alive?
Yeah, that was really bizarre, yeah. We started the game really well as well, and fortunately we went on to win the game, so I managed to get away with it. But I always remember sitting back in the dressing room, and obviously just me in there, and like 5 minutes after the kick-off or something, sat there, barely had a sweat on. I was just sat there with my head in my hands thinking, has this just happened? I can't. Is this real? It was like so quick to be walking out for the game and then score, miss a penalty, and be back sat there, sent off in no time. So it was very strange, but never forget it anyway.
No, we certainly don't as fans. Ashley, we want to thank you for your time this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and hopefully we'll keep an eye out for what you're doing, and you can keep an eye out for the Reds as well. Cheers, Ashley.
Yeah, and if you're ever free on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, by all means, because you're still highly regarded as one of the legends we've got. So if you've ever got some free time, please come and see us.
Hey, thanks very much for that. I'll take you up on that for sure.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Cheers, Ashley.
Cheers, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was Reds legend Ashley Ward. And we've got a game coming up Saturday. You won't make this one, Carl, and we've got a special programme, haven't we, that's going to be available, Be Red, this Saturday for the Wigan game.
Yeah, just a reminder to everybody that it's a special commemorative edition, 100 years since the Battle of the Somme. There's an exclusive feature in there as well with Andy Yedem. But in regards to the Battle of the Somme, Marley Watkins' great-granddad fought in that battle. So there's an interview there. There's also a feature with John Hendry. So don't forget to pick it up. £3 in the ground or around the ground for sale. Sorry, I'm just starstruck. There's Ashley Ward.
I know, I think we're going to have a minute, aren't we, after that, definitely. We'll be back shortly on the Reds Report.
I'm Paul Heckingbottom, and you're listening to the Reds Report on Barnsley Player HD.
And we're back on Barnsley Player HD on the Reds Report, episode 1. And tomorrow, Carlo, Wigan Athletic at home. We've spoken about it at length to Conor, to Paul Heckingbottom as well.
Yeah.
We're back playing football at Oakwell, and we can't wait, can we? And it's Wigan at home, and to be honest with you, 3 managers they've had in the last month. They're not on a good run. We're doing all right. We're on a bit of a run, so it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you remember early October, I said to you, October's a crucial month because we've got 3 home games, 1 away, and home you want to pick up your points. I'm happy. It's at home. Players that went on an international have come back. We've got almost a full squad, as you heard from Hecky earlier. Wigan, that's the only issue, isn't it? They've got a new manager. They've had this break. That's what you normally need to start gelling as a team for a new manager to bring his ideas over. So it'll be interesting because we don't know what the Wigan team really is going to be, the ideas of the new manager, and we don't know how Barnsley are going to line up because we've got almost a fully fit squad to choose from.
Robbo's back as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I've always said, and I, my opinion stays the same, that the squad we've got at home, these sort of matches we should be winning. I think we've got options from the bench. We've got various people that can play in various positions. I've been extremely pleased how we've done so far this season. Anybody would have said, 12, 13, 14th place, absolutely fine. It's some win-all issues we had before the international break where he sort of seemed to be targeted. We've had hopefully a week for him to get over the injuries that he sustained, and it'd just be nice to get off after a week off or a couple of weeks off with 3 points on the board, and then looking forward to repeating that feat against Nottingham Forest underneath the floodlights at Oakwell on a Friday evening.
I know it's going to be a busy week, but we mentioned it with Paul, didn't we, about Adam Armstrong. He's gone away with the under-20s. He's scored 3 goals. That little lad, that quick player that we've seen and that bit of quality that he's got, he'll be chomping at the bit for Saturday morning. He's bread and butter league football. He'll really want to go out there and he'll be flying after the England under-20 international.
Oh, completely. It just worries me that it's a lone player. I know he shouldn't, but then I think surely we then have to use him and get all the goals out of him we can, because if January comes and does he go back to Newcastle, does it get extended, we can't bank on that. But he's just a pleasure to watch every time he gets the ball. The speed he's got, the skill that he's got. Goals are coming from all over. As I read the other day, we've got 11 goal scorers in our side, so we're not like some of these other teams, pinning our hope on one player to produce the goods. They could come from all over. But Adam Armstrong has been instrumental in some of these goals, and what he did for the under-20s, let's hope he can repeat it tomorrow.
You look at Wigan's last 5 games, Carlo, 1-1, drawn 2, lost 2, 5 points, and similar with Barnsley, 1-1, drawn 2, lost 2, 5 points, but 3 games unbeaten, as we said. Home turf, for me, it should be good enough for us. We've played well at home. I know we want it to be a fortress at home, and a couple of games Reading have come and turned us over. Fulham have as well, but a lot of those games were down to individual mistakes and errors that Paul and the staff can't influence once they cross that white line. No. They played well against Reading, unfortunately lost at home, and maybe possibly should have come away with a point in that game. The Fulham game, well, it was just one of those days. I think the Fulham game. So for me, I think the home turf should be good. It should be good enough for us on Saturday. Wigan are not as good as last season. They're not a bad side, but they're not the team that came up and steamrolled League One, as Conor said. And to be honest with you, I hate to use the teams like Wigan because we get it thrown about ourselves all the time, but teams below us in the league, I honestly think we should be beating. And then from there on, you see where we are and you consolidate the position that we so rightfully earned so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I don't think the table how it is now will end up being the table on the final day of the season. I think some teams have adjusted quicker to Championship football than others have. If you look at Burton, if you look at Wigan, if you look at us, I think one of the key advantages we've got Burton had the oldest squad, I think, in this league. Barnsley have one of the youngest squads, because I know Brentford's got a really youthful squad as well. It almost, because they're all out there trying to prove that they can cope with this, which obviously they've proven that they can. I think our mindset is completely different. We adjusted far easier, I felt, than the other teams that have come up with us. There is no fear factor. And how many times have we said it last season? You know, we've got goals from defence going forwards, whether that's Mark Roberts at a set piece, whether that's Adam Hamill, Ryan Kent has a bit of trickery, Conor Hourihane's sort of, you know, anything that comes from free kicks, penalties, and then we've got a choice of almost 4 strikers up front. I feel we're in a very luxurious position, and even if in the first half tomorrow things don't go our way, we've got the personnel and we've got a tactician at the helm that can change things to make sure that come 90 minutes there's 3 points in the bag.
You mentioned there the luxury that we've got and the players that are available to us. It's not been through money spent, a lot of money, sorry. There has been obviously money spent, there's been wages spent on loan players, etc. And we touched on it with Paul, and we touch on it nearly every time that we do a podcast. It's a testament to how we do things now, isn't it, at Barnsley, that we look at an Adam Armstrong. We saw that last season he scored 20 goals in League One. We've made the step up, and he's made the step up with us, so to speak, although he's a Newcastle player, so we recognise that he could probably do it at this level. We've picked an Angus MacDonald. Young Pekawa wasn't getting the game at QPR, but he's well thought of, so they took a punt on him as well. Mark Roberts, Ryan Kent as well. Liverpool are trusting, teams like Newcastle, Liverpool, trusting us with players like that. It just goes to show that all that hard work last season wasn't for nothing, was it?
The England match this week, the friendly against Spain, they talked about, you know, where the game is going, and lots of teams are changing their ethos, where rather than hoofing a ball and hoping somebody gets hold of it and scores a goal, it's all about the ball in play, bringing it forward, keeping possession. And if you look at an Alfie Mawson, who left us and was included in the England under-21s, and well done to him, and look at the injuries that we've had with Mark Roberts dropping out, whoever we've brought in has been able, you know, they fitted in. Sometimes we said, wonder what this person's like. It's fitted every single time. It's just about finding the balance between somebody who can clear the ball and somebody who can play the ball out. But the whole ethos in the club, it's almost like a checklist when we're after somebody that you need to, you know, this is the things we're looking for, and if you don't fit this, then Barnsley doesn't fit you as a club. And I think that's why, by sticking to that, the success that we're seeing now with some of these younger players coming through, when you see some of these academy players that are fitting in. If you'd have come to Barnsley the last time when we played against Bristol City, and we had was it Josh Brown,
Josh and Kay, young Kay as well,
and young Kay, they didn't look out of place. And I think from the sort of under 16s, under 17s upwards, they're playing with this philosophy of this is how the first team play. So if they do come into the first team, they're used to that style of playing, and I think it's paying off. And I think the coaches at junior level at this club, all the way through to obviously Hackey, and then you know, the owners, it's working, isn't it? It's working. We can bring various people in, but everybody, this is the way Barnsley play, and we're not going to change that whether we play Burton, Barcelona or Borussia Dortmund.
Or tomorrow at Wigan Athletic. And you look to the Burton game, second half very poor against Burton. We couldn't get out of our half, and I think that was more a testament to Burton's game plan.
Completely,
second half,
yeah,
where they pinned us in our own half. But then from that, you've got a goalkeeper who is playing with a lot of confidence. He's kept quite a few clean sheets during his Barnsley career. He's made a lot of appearances for Barnsley over the last 18 months in Adam Davis. So you talk about that luxury, that you've got a goalkeeper on the top of his game. And the thing is, we've talked at length over the last 4 months, haven't we, that we've been doing shows together, that who do you play up front, who shall we play up front. If they're all scoring goals, it's not a problem for Paul. The problem is when they're not scoring goals. And at the minute, whether Marley's playing on the wing or he's playing up front, he scores goals. Sam Winall is scoring goals. You know, Adam Hamill's chipping in with goals, which actually brings me to my next point. Adam Hamill's been on the bench last few games, but he's come on in games and made an impact. How does the midfield look for tomorrow's game against Wigan? Does Adam Hamill play? Does Marley play wide right? Does Ryan Kent play left? What's Carlo's 11 for tomorrow against Wigan Athletic?
Providing everybody's fit. But a very good point. Davies, I think sometimes is the unsung hero. Davies kept us in the match. Davies saved us points this season. So I you know, you'd have to go with Davies in goal.
Young Bree
on the right, Yadam on the left. And in the middle, I'd probably go with Jackson and Roberts. Midfield.
Speaking of Jackson, I've been impressed with Adam Jackson, have you?
Yeah. And again, wasn't it? There was an injury, he came in, people were a bit, who's this? And it clicked. And that, again, it has to be a testament to how, we keep engaging the players even when they're not getting into the first team.
Well, I'm going to say he came in and he didn't play for a month.
No.
So, but he came in and he's looked the part, hasn't he? And he's been very impressive.
And a bit of experience.
Yeah, and he's actually looked good. I know he's not played Premiership football for Middlesbrough, but being in that setup with Karanka, etc.
He's got the pedigree, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's shown, and I think he's brought Angus MacDonald on a lot in the last couple of games as well. So
completely.
You say we're going Bree, Yidem,
Jackson
and
Roberts
if he's fit.
Yeah. And then tomorrow against Wigan, I'd probably go with Ryan Kent and Marley Watkins on the wings. Now the midfield's interesting, isn't it?
It is, because
Connor,
Morsey's looking well.
Yeah, I'd go with Connor and Sam Morsey.
It's a shame for Josh to see himself out of the side again,
It
because
is,
he's stuck to the Championship like a duck to water. Yeah. Josh Scowen.
Adam Armstrong with Sam Winnell up front, and again, It's very hard because we've got so many players that are potentially in form. I just think somebody who scored a hat-trick for his country at his level, we need to include him. He's in a rich vein of form. Sam Winnell, I think, has had a bit of a rough ride with some of the incidents that have happened. We saw it here on the pitch. Again, we saw it at Burton. I think he definitely is showing that steeliness and that desire to keep going and not get beaten. So, yeah, that will be my 11. I don't know if yours look any different.
The only change I'd probably make, I would probably see Adam Hamill come back into the side. I don't think how many times you can use him off the bench. He can be an impact. I think that now there's probably a chance to throw him back in. But if it went with that team, I couldn't complain about that. I think Sam Moores has been absolutely fantastic since he came into the midfield through Josh's suspension. You see the quality that Sam Moores has got, and alongside Connor, his game's absolutely come on leaps and bounds in 2 years. He actually dictates games now, and alongside Conor Hourihane, I think you've got a very good midfield tool there, to be perfectly honest with you. I fancy a good result at home to Wigan tomorrow, but if I'm honest with you, we've played some good football, some excellent football, but I think the result is important tomorrow, as will the result be important against Notts Forest as well. Because in the Championship, as we found out to our detriment, you can soon get in a sticky patch.
Yeah.
And results are very important, Carlo.
And, you mentioned it earlier, besides, obviously, the Fulham result, but even that, you can look down and you can look at individual errors. We've not been played off the pitch. And the draw against Burton, I believe, was a very good draw against
it was based on the second half,
on the second half, and it shows that defensively, and we mentioned the main man again, Adam Davis in goal. He's secured us points. He's made sure that we went home with 1 point, a draw, rather than nothing at all, and our goal difference getting hit. So now I am looking forward to it, and I just think there is a buzz when we don't know which 11 are going to take to the pitch, because we've got 14, 15 players all in form, ready to choose from.
We certainly have. Remember, tomorrow's game against Wigan Athletic is a Category D fixture, isn't it, Carlo? The cheapest category that we've got going for the home matches.
Yeah, definitely. And again, all the ticket information is on www.barnsleyfc.co.uk/tickets. And again, that message that if you buy in advance, you save yourself a couple of quid, and that could just get you a buy at half time, could it?
It certainly could. Thanks for listening to the Reds Report, episode 1. Just remember to shine a light for Patrick, and we send our best wishes to Patrick and all his family. Right, well, we hope you enjoyed that first show of the Reds Report.
I did. I'm hoping to be back next week, hopefully with a slightly better voice, not as husky.
More Carlo, less Barry White next week.
Yeah.
This one's free for everybody on YouTube. Carlo, where can people find us in the future?
The easiest thing to do, I think, is if you've got your mobile phone, search on the iTunes store or the Play Store, search for EFL Digital Player HD, and then if you've subscribed to Barnsley Player HD, put your credentials in there, so you'll get the Reds Report, you'll get all the press conferences, you get all the replays with commentary and other exclusive content. So, whether you're going to college, whether you're in the car on the way to work, whether you're stuck on the M1 because there's been another accident, or your wife is doing the Christmas shopping at Meadowhall, plug your earphones in, they can listen to us for an hour, can't they, Chris?
Get us on the away days as well, on the train, on the coach, and enjoy the show. We'll see you next week.